She said, "Welcome home." It always feels like home when I'm here. I feel like this is my home away from home. And I'm happy to be here today because it's snowing in Kansas City today. Yeah, we didn't hear about spring. It's delayed. Hi. So Monday morning, this past Monday, about 6 o'clock in the morning, like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, I got out of bed and I went to the gym. I go to a place that's more like a country club, really, than it is a gym. It's not really a serious gym like Gold's or anything. And at 6 a.m., it's filled with lots of businessmen and soccer moms, all trying to get in their early morning workout before the work week begins. Now, here's the thing. When I go to the gym, it's not a social event. I don't want to chat with you. I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to work out and get it over with because the truth is, I really hate exercise. If it were left to my lower self to make choices in my life, I would probably have stayed in bed till 10 only to get up to eat fried foods. But like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 6 a.m., my higher self says, "Dr. Chris," that's what my higher self calls me. "Dr. Chris, get out of bed and go to the gym." So that's what I did. And I did my usual 1.5-hour workout. I work out a lot. And my special reward to myself when it's all over is to lie down in the men's steam room long enough just to recuperate from the workout. Well, on Monday morning this past week, after a really intense workout, when I went into the steam room for my relaxing reward, there was a Neanderthal in my space, hanging out on the top shelf of the steam room with a towel that was way too loosely tied around his waist. And I call him a Neanderthal because the man had more hair than a Sasquatch. I swear to God, y'all, I think I might have found Bigfoot. So there he was, all sweaty and hairy in my space. And as I walked in the door, he's all chirpy and he says, "Good morning, mate." Well, needless to say, I wasn't feeling chatty. I wanted my space and he was in it. And so I asked him to move over just a little bit to let me sit on the top step next to him because that's where the steam is the hottest. And he said, "Sure, mate, I can do that." Now, from his choice of words or his accent, I'm assuming the guy's from, I don't know, New Zealand or Australia or something, because I seriously doubt he was considering me for a potential mate, which is a really good thing. Now, the problem is he didn't move over that much, just enough to let me squeeze in next to him. Now, here's the thing. You don't know this about me, but I'm the type of guy that has large personal space requirements. You know, I don't like people in my face, close enough to smell what you had for breakfast on your breath. I just need a lot of room. But since I'd already inconvenienced this guy once, I didn't feel like I had the right to say, "Could you move over a little bit more, please?" But I really wanted to. What happened next kind of grosses me out. As I'm seated way too close to this guy, he hikes up his foot and he starts picking at his toenails, which are kind of gross, and you know they have some thing on it. And so I moved over a little bit to get closer to the wall, and he hikes up his other foot and he starts playing. And he's got the fungus under the toenails, and it's kind of yucky. And then when he's done with both feet, he starts shaking the sweat off his face, and of course it lands right on me. And you got to know, I'm a Virgo, and I like clean. I don't like that. We don't clean things, we sterilize them. And so just as I'm about to say something to this guy with his sweat all over me, just when I'm about to say something rude, he gets up, he leaves, and he says, "Good day, mate." Now you're thinking to yourself, why? Why is he sharing this story? Where is the spiritual lesson? Wait for it. So for it all to make sense, I really have to tell you another story. So hang in there for a minute. Do you know about your lizard brain? You know, technically it's called the amygdala. It's an almond-shaped nugget that sits on the temporal lobe of your brain, and its primary purpose is to drive your behavior. It's an ancient survival mechanism left over from millions of years of evolution, but nonetheless is still part of every human's makeup. And it can greatly influence your decisions and your choices in life, even though you may be completely unconscious that it's doing that. All lizards have is an amygdala. That's the composition of their entire brain. That's why it's called a lizard brain. And it guides every single thing they do instinctively just to survive in the world. Now, one scientist said, to put it simply, your lizard brain is hungry, scared, selfish, and horny. Now imagine combining all those together. This might explain that arrest warrant you had. This might explain the restraining order you had to place on your ex in the 1980s. Because if you're hungry, if you're scared, if you're selfish and you're horny, how do you think you're going to act? What kind of choices do you think you're going to make in life? And what kind of life do you think you're going to have as a result of those choices? Your lizard brain says, my needs are more important than yours. I'm going to get what I want and screw you. So when the lizard brain is driving your car on the 101, you cut people off in traffic. I've seen you. You flip them off. You curse at them. You're not saying namaste. When the lizard brain goes to work with you on Monday, you compete fiercely with other people. You will climb over anyone as you claw your way to the top of the corporate ladder and play all the politics. And when the lizard brain takes you out on a Saturday night, look out, honey, it ain't gonna be good for somebody. The lizard brain is not holistic. He's separate and isolated. He does not have compassion. He doesn't know what whole systems thinking is. He's just out for himself. Now, if you like drama, if you really like drama, you should date one. Date a lizard brain. Oh my God, lots of drama. But you must never, ever, ever marry one. Too late. Again, you're probably asking yourself, why? Why is he sharing this story? And what does it have to do with the hairy man in the steam room? Well, let me piece it all together for you. You have a higher self and a lower self. The higher self is the lover, the dreamer, the visionary of life. The higher self has compassion. It sees the interconnectedness and the oneness of all life. It is the one that you brought here this Sunday morning to church. It's the one that greets everyone with the true, authentic namaste. The God in me, that which is sacred and holy in me, sees and touches the God in you, that which is sacred and holy. Your higher self is your spiritual self. It's that part of you that should drive your choices and guide every action you take. And notice I said should. But then there's the lizard. And we all know what he wants. He's reactive, he's aggressive, and he is totally self-absorbed. He represents your lower self. And the choices that he makes will always get you into trouble. Always, every single time. Now, you can call it what you will. You can say it's all about evolution. You can say it's the contradiction of this whole pure and perfect spiritual being, as one poet said, trapped inside this dying animal body. But whatever you call it, it is still part of you. It's still part of your nature, every single one of you, and that means you're going to have to deal with it. So with every single choice that you make, with every single person that you encounter in this life, you will be driven either by your higher self or your lower self. Now, obviously, when I was in the steam room, I was using my lizard brain. That guy was in my space. I didn't care what he wanted. I didn't care about his comfort. I wanted my own comfort. I just wanted him to get out of my way. Now, here's the good news. Through lots of my own personal trial and error and getting myself into a great deal of trouble over the years, I have learned to keep my lizard's mouth shut. So I didn't say anything to him, even though I really wanted to. You know, sometimes the best response is no response at all. Have you learned that yet? Sometimes the most loving thing you can do, is to say nothing and do nothing. Remember that. It is good advice when you're with your family. Look, I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is, we're all made of the same stuff. Each one of us. Every day, you have to make a choice, just like I do, whether to act or to react. Whether to use the power of your higher self to lift others up or act like a lizard and put them down. And believe it or not, this is the most important choice that you make all day long. The most important choice of your day, because it determines exactly how much good is going to come right back into your life. So, my friends, you can give up your beseeching prayers to some distant deity you think is watching you from on high, waiting for you to behave, and you can stop posing for Jesus. Because every single thing that's good that comes into your life comes from a simple law that says that what you give to others will be given to you, and whatever you withhold from others will be withheld from you. Sorry it hurt. When I was a kid, I used to go to the movies a lot. They were my way of escaping an unhappy family life. Because, you know, I was raised by baboons in the forest. Well, they had better parenting skills, so I just went there. And I would throw myself into the adventure and mystery of other worlds at the movies. I particularly liked science fiction films. I was really fascinated with the future. Maybe because the present wasn't all so great in my life. And of course, this was way back in the day when you could still smoke in theaters. Do you remember that? Absolutely unheard of today. But when I was a kid, people smoked in the theaters. And I used to watch how that smoke created a blue haze that would linger in the light. You know, the light that came from the projector's booth in the back of the theater? Now, this is way back before digital technology, when the movies were on actual film that, you know, ran through a projector and some great big light shined it onto a screen. And for some reason, unknown to me then, but seems kind of clear now, I would follow that light all the way back to the square window that it came from the projector's booth in the back of the theater. And I thought about how the entire movie and all of the drama that was unfolding on the screen came from literally thousands of tiny little images that were force-fed through a projector that were adding light and color and motion and movement to them. And so now you're thinking, okay, he was a weird child, you know, strange, unusual. I mean, most kids are watching the movie, and I'm looking back at the square light that's projecting it. What's that all about? It was reported in the news a few weeks ago that scientists have a new theory on how the universe is actually held together. The theory is none of what you see is real. There is no such thing as solid matter. It only appears so because we are all in agreement that it does. Every single thing in life, in the universe, is a holographic projection. Everything that appears real, all the billions of planets, the trillions of stars, the galaxies, the supernovas, the black holes, are just like that movie screen that I was watching as a kid. They were images being reflected on a screen by some great big light, except in this case, the imagery is all three-dimensional, and the projector is God. 20th century poet and playwright Eden Philpott said, "The universe is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharper." Maybe everything that appears to have hurt you so deeply isn't real. Maybe all the hardships that you have gone through are just a storyline, a drama that unfolds to serve some greater purpose for your soul. What if all the big dramatic things that have scared the hell out of you, that have brought you down to your knees, what if all those things, the death of somebody you loved greatly, the loss of some job, the diagnosis of some life-threatening illness, what if none of it's real and you have absolutely nothing to fear? What if they're just tiny little images being projected onto some hologram that you call your life? And I wonder what would happen if you would turn your attention away from the drama for just a minute. If you did what I did back in the movie theater, if you turned back toward the light, maybe the story would end and the big thing that scared the hell out of you would vanish into thin air. Maybe you have more power than you think. I propose that you do. I think you're way more powerful than you ever could possibly imagine. I think you can say something is so, and by God, it will be so. I think you can dream a dream and believe in it with all of your heart and make it so. That's what my new book is about. The Power of You. It's about how your spiritual journey and all the things that you've looked at and thought were real have brought you to be the man you are today. It's about how all the personal challenges, the things that you've struggled with in your life have turned you into a very wise woman, better equipped than ever to take your place as a leader of nations. Thank God. We need women to lead us now. Men, I need you to go sit down and shut up for 100 years. I'll come back and let you know when you can get up. This is important. Never before in all of human history on this planet has the time span between ideation and manifestation been so short. We are living in a time of vast opportunities, a new era of creativity. I don't know whether you know this or not, but the information age is over. It failed to bring us enlightenment. More information does not necessarily convert to greater wisdom. So only those who are conscious, only those who are creative will succeed and thrive now. Emerson said 150 years ago, each takes his own from the multiplicity that sweeps and circles round him. That multiplicity is the creative mind of God, and you live in it. You're no longer bound by the knee-jerk reactions of a lizard brain. Consciousness awakens and you rise. This is your time. Stop wasting it on low-life activity. You are conscious now, awake and ready to assume your post. There's work to be done in this world. Systems are broken and crumbling. Don't you understand? You're here to change the world, not just get a better parking space or a cuter boyfriend. An evolutionary code has been activated within you, and you are finally coming into your power. So wake up and stay awake. We're here to change the world, and I need your help. And so ends the lesson. Thank you.